we always try to look back at our core DNA, which is, where we started was taking things that were really hard to package up and get to consumers in the form of different, content bundles, whatever it is. Doing that as an innovation partner to hardware companies and the content companies is part of our DNA, and that's what has provided value to us as a company. And it creates differentiators in the consumer market for us to do things that are ahead of everybody else. Because like, how do you compete with Netflix, and they're spending billions of dollars on content, and we just can't compete with that. So I think in terms of picking how we're thinking about what we're working on, it always helps for us to go back to say, does this line up with our core DNA where we've created value? And, that doesn't mean that we can't shift the business, but still point back to the DNA. So, looking at VR, AR only, that market is too small, particularly it's growing, but it's still too small for, like venture outcomes, right? And a handful of companies have been acquired. Lots of companies have just failed and been shut down. And the companies that have been nimble and shifted kind of how they think about what they're doing, they've survived and thrived. And so we, I think, tried to listen to what we were built on and our principles, but then, still honor those relationships that we had with the content companies and the hardware companies. So now we can go back, and instead of Google Daydream VR, it's talking to Android TV, which is a flat device. And they're saying, hey, we have Google Voice Assistant that we want you guys to do some interesting things with. You did some really cool stuff with VR. Can you help on making TVs more immersive? Yes, that fits our core DNA. We can get a device, a year in advance, work on SDKs that are undocumented, and our engineers can figure it out and work back and forth with their engineers behind the scenes. And so that's allowed us to, it's provided enough of a guidepost for us to say, this is what we're good at. And as opportunities are coming our way, some of them sound interesting, but then we say, well, this may be distracting. So maybe we shouldn't do this because it's not core of what we're at. And so there's been some potentially short-term lucrative deals that we've had to pass up because it would have turned us into a production company or an agency, as opposed to a technology company building an engine for doing, very advanced distribution of content.